Hey there! Today I'm going to talk about a pen from India, which I bought from a website called fountainpenrevolution.com. And if I understand correctly, that site is operated by a person from the US who moved to India and who was chided for his handwriting there, and then he decided to pick up fountain pens and use them, and now he sells them. And I was pleasantly surprised. The site offers a number of pens made in India, and service was good, shipping was very fast. I think the pen reached me in about a week and a half, which is pretty good if you imagine that stuff from the US reaches me in about a week. So all the way from India, I think that's pretty impressive. So I was very pleased. Now as to the pen, this is a big pen. It is the Wality 78JT, and it's big. What can I show you in comparison? Well, I suppose a Hero 616 would be an option. But as you can see, it's a big pen. Now, there is also a 78J, and this is the T, and I think that just means that the barrel is transparent. And this is an eyedropper, so it's actually fun that the barrel is transparent. There is no ink in there, but you can fill it up with ink and an eyedropper just up to that point, and it will hold a lot of ink. So I'm just grabbing something here. It actually came with an eyedropper, just a simple plastic thing, but it works just fine. So use it with bottled ink. This pen does not take cartridges, it does not take a converter, it's just an eyedropper. I think it would make sense to show you the Ahab. Where is it? Where's my Ahab, boys and gals? Ah, here we go. Ahab. Right. Ahab Wality 78JT. So the Ahab is a little bit smaller, but that's pretty much the cap actually being a bit smaller, because pen-wise, oh well, no, actually, okay. So the pen, the Ahab on this side is just a little bit smaller. But it does hold more ink if you... Oh, I got ink in my fingers, of course. It holds more ink in the barrel, and that is because the Wality pen has this plastic. It's filled with plastic here. So this is massive plastic, and it's only open up until that point. So the Ahab just wins, I think, with ink. But don't underestimate the Wality pen. This holds 3 milliliters of ink, and that is a lot. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot of ink. So I was very impressed. Okay, having said all of this, let's have a look at the pen. I'll show you the parts, I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and that's it then. You have the cap, and the cap has this very nice mottled design. They come in a number of colors, but as you can see, it is shaded from... I took the orange, brownish version. It goes from a very dark to a very light orange, and I really like it. It has the same smell Noodler's pens have, so I'm assuming it's some type of vegetal resin, but I'm not absolutely sure. It has this nice metal ring. Unfortunately, it rotates a little bit. I'm not really bothered by it, but I know that some people are. And on this ring, there's this nice... these ribs, which you probably cannot see very well, but it looks pretty cool, and it says MF8 by Airmail Pen Co. And I think officially the company is called Airmail Wality. But in any case, from India, as I said, I like this chrome resin or plastic, whatever it is, chrome, and then this plastic again. I think that looks pretty cool. The clip is very tight. It's a very tight clip. It will definitely keep a pen in your pocket. Okay, I unscrew the cap. It's a screw-off cap, which I always enjoy. You don't accidentally pull them off. The grip section has the same... it's from the same material as the cap. And as I said, if you buy a regular 78J, then the barrel would also be this color. The nib, it looks like gold. It's not gold for $18. I'm not sure whether it is gold-plated. To be honest, I doubt it, but in any case, the nib is pretty okay, actually. It's not as scratchy as I feared it would be, so that's a good thing. I smoothed it out a little bit myself, just because I enjoy doing that, and that helped a little bit, but out of the box, there wasn't really a box, but you know, out of the packaging, it wrote straight away, and pretty well, so that's good. It has a nice feed, which is very flat. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it's a pretty flat feet. I always flat foot, flat feet. Well, whatever. It's fairly flat, and I always enjoy that. I have some other pens which have this, and I think it looks kind of cool. Actually, just preference. Okay, then you unscrew the barrel. I'm not going to show you how to fill it with ink because that would just be boring. It's very simple. You just either pour ink in or you just use an eyedropper. The nice thing about the section is that I gotta have a tool for this. Is that you can carefully push out the feed and the nib, which makes it very easy to clean the pen, right? So I always enjoy that. Okay, so that's it. What do I like about this pen? Well, a lot. For $18, I think this is not a bad deal. It looks nice. It's a fairly large pen, which is useful. Whoops, I just dropped the nib. I'll pick that up at some point. It's pleasant if you have large hands, and if you're looking for massive ink capacity, this is it. Now, I'm not kidding when I say it's useful for large hands. Look at this. Even when I stretch out my fingers, it still extends beyond my hand. And if you post this pen, it turns into a club of some kind. Look how huge that is. So, pretty cool. My one issue with the pen was that it was fairly dry. It's a fairly dry writer. Now, to be truthful, I put in Pelikan ink, and Pelikan ink, in my experience, is not the wettest of inks. So I will try it out with another ink, and I intend to do a shootout between this pen and the Ahab, which seems to make sense. They're both large capacity pens and eyedropper capability pens. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll give you an update then. Perhaps I can make it a bit wetter with a wetter ink, and otherwise, as you can just remove the feed, I'm not sure whether this is ebonite. It doesn't feel like plastic. I've got the strong suspicion it is ebonite. I think I can just carve it up a little bit, because the opening in the feed, yeah, you can't see this, but the opening in the feed is fairly small, so I think if I open it up a bit, I will make it wetter. In any case, that is what I will try. More than enough talk. A nice pen for this price, and something that I would like to point out about this company. I already told you the shipping was fast, but what was really cool was that I opened up the envelope this thing came in, and I found another pen, and I thought, did I order two? I can't remember, but I didn't. This was a complimentary pen. I will do a separate review of this. To give you a very short overview, I got it for free. It has a screw-off cap, it has an ink window, and it's a piston filler. Now, isn't that a cool gift? I think it's pretty cool. So, again, if you're looking for an inexpensive pen, they seem to deal in a lot of eyedroppers, and all of them have fine nibs. So, if that's what you're looking for, check them out. I'll put a link to the website below, and that's it. So, on to the writing sample. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye! Okay, here we go with the Wality 78JT. The first thing you will notice, I think, is that the pen doesn't write at all. My fault. I haven't used it for a while. This is not the pen's fault, it's mine. There we go. I'll just do something here. Whoop, there we go. To make it a little wetter. What I was going to say is you may see that the pen is a bit dry. And even though I now made it splatter some ink on the page, it's still not the wettest of pens. The nib is fine. The ink is Pelikan violet, I should say, and it's actually not the wettest of inks, so perhaps that is interfering a bit with the flow of the pen, although I have the feeling it is a somewhat dryish pen. Now, that doesn't really interfere with the pleasure of writing. Usually I don't really like dry pens, but this pen I do keep coming back to it. And it is in fact nice, I was writing this at my normal speed. Now I'll go a bit slower. Then you see it actually gets a bit wetter. So what I am thinking is, first of all, that I cannot write and speak at the same time. I'm sorry, I'm a man, I cannot multitask apparently. What I'm thinking is that I may widen the channel on the feed a little bit. I'm not sure whether this is plastic or ebonite. It has a typical smell. I was actually guessing ebonite, but it may just be plastic. I'm not sure. It looks like something I could modify. If I do, I will let you know. Okay, so let's have a look at some fast writing. See how well the feed keeps up. As you can see, this word was almost completely skipped, and that was to be expected from such a dry pen. But as I said, it could also be the ink, and as you can see now, I'm going slow, and already the pen is quite a bit wetter. This is not going to be a gusher, it's just a fairly dry pen, but one that gives a fairly steady performance, and that is something I actually like. Don't forget, I mean, I like a wet pen, but I'm really not giving up on this one. I like the pen too much for that. I think it's a very nicely designed pen. It reminds me a little bit of an Ahab. It's a relatively cheap pen, and you may have to work a little bit on it, but it has an inherent appeal, and I experienced that with this pen too. Okay, let's have a look at some flex. It writes. There is some. That's not that bad, is it? So if you go slow, maybe I'm not pushing hard enough. Maybe that's it. Shall I do another sample pushing a bit more? That doesn't look particularly dry, does it? Okay, there was a little bit of a skip there, but that's okay. Maybe I should just push more. But that sort of suggests to me that the tines open up a bit more when I push, and the pen gets wetter, so maybe I really should widen the feed of the channel of the feed a little bit. Alright, so some coloring. Well, it is a dryish pen right now, so I don't expect too much. You see there's quite a bit of white in there. I always like it when a pen is very wet, like this one. See the difference? There's a nice even patch of ink there. In any case, very nice. I do really like the pen, dry or not. So, I hope this was useful. Order one of these pens. They're so cheap you would be making a mistake to just let it go. It's cheap, it's fun, you can work on it, you can make a project pen out of this. I thank you for watching. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.